when I look at you. Oh, I feel my heart. Oh, I feel real love deep inside. Oh, love, natural, I can't believe how you do to me. You make me feel, oh, how you say, feel so special. Oh, love.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
Yeah, good afternoon, Tom. What a lovely day it is again on Saturday. Is it Saturday?
Well, I don't know. I don't really know what day it is anymore, to be honest. It's the 18th today. We would be in Southend.
Oh, my word.
Last away game of the season today.
Yeah.
Here we go. Do you want to go north round London or south round London?
That would have been, we would have been looking at the map, going on a satellite navigation system saying, which way should we go, Tom? North or south, wouldn't we?
Yeah. We the best pier we've been to this weekend so far.
Yeah, remember that. Good, yeah.
Welcome back to the sorry, mate, I didn't want to catch you.
Sorry, caught me on a Mark Catlin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Fournilwrittenalloverit podcast. Once again, week number 4. We've got, before we get started, I want to plug a couple of things that are coming up in the next few weeks. So we've got, next weekend, we'll bring you a very special Fournilwrittenalloverit highlights reel, look back kind of video, which you can enjoy next Saturday. Great moments, etc. On there, which is good. And we will also, the following week, we'll be joined by Alexander the Negative on the 5th podcast to chat all of the things that are going on in the world, and also we're going to have a couple of challenges and have a little bit of fun over a Zoom call.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a Zoom call. So it's going to be live with Alexander the Negative 2 weeks from today's date. But thank you very much for joining me again, mate. Not much else for you to do on your Saturday afternoon, but thanks for coming anyway.
Got to clean the fish tank.
Yeah.
Bins go out on Monday.
Okay, so you're preparing for that.
I've got a lot on, Tom. Yeah.
Good. 3 years to the day yesterday since the Notts County automatic promotion. Or was it that we were in? No, it's automatic promotion, wasn't it? Yeah. Automatic promotion. Notts County, it's 3 years to the day. Does it feel like 3 years?
No, it doesn't feel like... Actually, it does feel like 3 years. That Notts County away at Meadow Lane does feel like 3 years, actually, looking back, because a lot's happened since then, hasn't it? We've been locked down for 2.5 years, haven't we?
Well, it feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We sat here eating lunch earlier and we thought, well, what happens if we're still in this by Christmas? What if we all wake up on Christmas Day and we're still here?
What will happen, Tom, is we'll eat a turkey.
Yeah. Yeah, but well, yeah.
Who'd want to be a turkey at Christmas? 4th week, Tom. It's getting really exciting.
It's getting really exciting. Let's crack on with a couple of topics from the day. I'm going to do my best 11 today. I've got it right here. It's the best Pompey play. Well, the best team I think is the best that I've seen play live.
Yeah, the difference is, Tom, I've had 30 years more than you.
Yes, you have. So, well, not
so
30,
therefore
30 years.
Yeah, plus more than that. Yeah. Anyways, move on. The important thing is your players. A lot of them will be a lot younger than my players.
They will be. I think. Yeah. I'm not sure about. We'll see.
They all are.
Okay, yeah, I know they all are. I was going to say I'm not sure how it would compare, but we'll have to wait and see.
Let's see what people think. My 11 and your 11.
It's only a couple of minutes away for you, so it's going to come up very soon. But first, I want to discuss with you VAR very briefly. But we've been asked every week to talk about this, and we've kind of avoided it because I wanted to save it a little bit. First of all, what do you think of it in the Premier League as it is in its state right now?
I don't like it, Tom. I won't ever like it. I don't think there's any need for it, actually. It takes away that cutting edge of and that fun that we get at football. In the pub after, it was offside, no it wasn't, yes it was, that sort of stuff. We were robbed. It's all part of football. It works for both teams, doesn't it? You get a 50-50 decision against you 3 times the season, you get it for you 3 times the season. That's the way it goes. There's no need to bring this technology in, apart from the financial gains. That's the difficulty. They've got to protect the financial interests. It's all about money these days. Sky, Champions League, that sort of revenue, it's all about being those, as we say many times, fine margins, and that's why there's VAR, mate, and simple as that.
So you don't agree with the fact that if a referee misses a decision that was blatant and obvious, either a red card or it would have changed the game in some way, you still wouldn't have it in the game, even though it was a mistake that could be rectified by technology?
No, I wouldn't, because that takes away what my feelings are. It takes away our beautiful game. It's becoming a clinical, automated, up-to-date 21st century computerised game. If we're not careful, it'll be a virtual in a minute. They won't even be kicking a football. I don't like it, Tom. It's only my personal view. There's a lot of fans that see it differently. It's all about protecting the revenue for the big clubs.
I'd see it differently. I think it's a great. Well, there's aspects of VAR that we all don't agree with, and I think the handball one is one that I think just forget the fact that VAR has any say in any handball decision.
How can someone's armpit be offside?
Well, that's the thing, and the offside's a difficult one. I think Arsene Wenger came up with the scheme a couple of months ago. It seems like years ago now that he came out and said it, but he said if any part of you is onside, then you should be still considered onside, even though you are offside. That was what came out and about quite a few while ago.
Arsene Wenger knows a lot about football, Tom.
Yeah.
Therefore, you in the old days, you're offside because your foot was over the line. That's how it should be. If your foot's over that line and a ref sees it or the linesman sees it, that's the fun of the game, isn't it? That's why our game is so different to a lot of other games. You know, tennis, when they started bringing in on the line technology, you know, the ball was in or out. It was great debate from people like Andre Agassi and people like John McEnroe. We used to argue with the linesman. It was just
you cannot be serious.
That's right. It's just part of it, wasn't it? It was part of why people watched it. Now it's too clinical, isn't it? And they're bringing that into our game. I think rugby's similarly. Rugby, you could argue that was it over the line? Difficult to know which is right and wrong. My view is everyone else can have their own view. My view is that it takes away, and it's taking away, the cutting edge of the fun of the referee making a decision right or wrong.
If it worked perfectly, would you be happy with it? If every single decision was correct?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't, because the referee's decision should be final. He's employed and paid well at that level to make those decisions. His ability to become a better referee is being taken away by VAR. The new guys that are coming through. He won't get any better because he knows full well if he makes a mistake, then VAR is going to correct it. Well, he's not going to improve his game, is it? Or our game, I don't think.
Okay, and it does waste an awful lot of time as well. It's another point.
Of course it does, yeah.
My other question to you was going to be: would you welcome the technology in League 1 and 2 and Championship?
Clearly not.
I can probably tell that you don't.
No, I don't like it, Tom. I think, we were watching back earlier the FA Cup finals, weren't we? Replays, Crystal Palace against Liverpool, and you said to me, "God, blimey, that was a foul, wasn't it?" No, not in those days.
Got to be a penalty.
You got to be a penalty. No, in those days it wasn't. It was
because the ref just didn't see it.
Well, either didn't see it, or it was a tackle that wasn't like prima donna tackle. People got into tackles, and there was a little bit of
argy-bargy,
a bit of fun, you know. Norman Hunt. Look back at Norman Hunter and Billy Bremner's clip, Tom, when they were punching each other. There was a punch up on a pitch. It was mental, but it was just
the game's changed, then, mate.
Yeah, the game's changed financially.
And therefore you can't punch anyone anymore.
I don't think you should punch anyone anyway, but I'm saying that there was flying into tackles, and there was decisions that you'd have gone. Today, go back to that 1990 FA Cup final, Liverpool Palace that we watched earlier. When Liverpool Palace won it 4-3, Liverpool should have had 2 or 3 penalties in that game. In today's football, they'd have sent off 8 players, and VAR would have given about 25 offsides. And Liverpool probably would have won the game 21-8.
The thing is, it would have. Michael Oliver went through I think it was a Champions League final that he looked at, and I saw an article, and he said he would have sent off 11 players in that game.
Yeah. Mental, isn't it?
I think it was like in the 1990s.
Yeah.
Watching one of the Champions League finals. I would have definitely sent like 11 players off. A whole team of players on that pitch. Half the players. Sorry.
But Palace in the Division 2 in those days beat Liverpool Division 1. Liverpool went on to be Division 1 champions 3 weeks later, oddly enough. But Palace beat them in the FA Cup semi-final. It was a fantastic atmosphere, great for the fans.
And you think VAR's ruining that?
I think it's making it a more clinical game and a more computerised game, Tom. That's what I'm saying. And it's not, football's not about that, never has been. It's the man in the pub, the man in the street, enjoying...
In the Toby Carvery.
Yeah, and the discussions that go forward and back from individuals like us. And
now it's discussions about VAR's mistakes, isn't it? It's kind of moving a little bit away from the actual football now, which is a sad thing.
And the linesman gets away with it now, doesn't he? Why bother to have a linesman anymore?
Right, so it is actually, no, you need to introduce this bit because I'm just going to
introduce this bit, Tom. What am I doing? VAR.
No, the bit underneath that.
Oh. There's a question.
No, the bit between the question.
Now, folks, we're going to go straight.
You just revealed the whole itinerary.
I don't actually do any revisions. You've probably noticed.
No, I know.
Tom, we are now going to go to your best 11. So let's have them.
Yes, let's do that. Thanks very much, mate. I'm going to go through my best 11. We did this, and it will appear up here as I go through. We did this with Andrew last week, and I thought I'd jump on the bandwagon and join him. My goalkeeper would be David James, England's number one at the time. He was made countless unbelievable saves for Pompey. That would be closely followed by Jamie Ashdown, who was a keeper that I really liked. I'm not sure if you would agree with me on that one, but I'm sure I'll get a bit of backlash in the moment. Left back is Enda Stevens. I spoke to Christian Burgess a few weeks ago about Enda Stevens, funny enough, and apparently he's one of the nicest blokes that he's ever met. So, as well as being one of the nicest blokes in football, according to Christian Burgess, he was also a fantastic player, and now flying high, obviously, in the Premier League. So I think Enda Stevens had to be included. Limvoy is in my back four as well, for the simple reason of the picture that you can see on the screen now, which some of you might have seen a couple of weeks ago. Limvoy, another one, proper Pompey player. Legend. Christian Burgess would be in there as well. Again, having spoken about Enda Stevens as one of the nicest blokes he'd ever met, Christian Burgess for me is one of the nicest blokes I've ever met. And for all the work he's been doing recently for charities related around the COVID-19 crisis as well. And not only being a fantastic, solid defender that has played many times for, is it more than 200 appearances now, isn't it? So he's turning into a bit of a Pompey legend, so I thought it would be wise that I included him in my best 11. Joel Ward at right back, another one that myself and Andrew met at the Tesco Express on Goldsmiths Avenue quite a few years ago. He was another fantastic player, and he's now playing at Crystal Palace as well. He's flying high in the Premier League. My left winger is Matty Taylor, for not only the countless number of incredible strikes he performed at Fratton Park, but for also being one of the teddies upstairs. Go and get Matty Taylor. Gary Roberts in midfield. We've got Gary Roberts. He was probably the best player under Paul Cook, I would say. I know that's arguable, but probably the most influential. Nico Cranchar in the middle. Harry Redknapp's man, he'll be in there as well. Jed Wallace on the right hand side, another fantastic bloke. He's doing unbelievably well in the Championship now as well. So Jed Wallace, I think, had to be involved in my best 11. He's also, I'll show a picture on the screen now. He's one of the first Pompey players I met and got to speak to. So he was fantastic. Carnu up top. Funny enough, on this date, if you're watching this on Saturday the 18th, it is 12 years to the day since Carnu scored for Pompey to beat Bolton 1-0 in 2008. Eased the relegation fears for us at that point in time. So I think, and also the goals in the FA Cup that Carnu scored as well, I think he's got to go in there. He was always he's probably my favourite Pompey player. I would have said, oh, Matty Taylor's arrived. Come on in. I don't think you're going to be in it. Oh, here he goes. Is he in there? There you go. There's the Matty Taylor toy. You're welcome. And then last but not least, centre forward, up top will be Connor Chaplin, who has appeared on Fournilwrittenalloverit written all over it before. Here's that clip as well.
It's got Fournilwrittenalloverit written all over it.
Connor's a lovely guy, and also he's doing very well in the Championship for Barnsley right now as well. So all these players have tried to go for ones that were either fantastic for Pompey, but also have moved on to bigger and better things, which just proves their quality. So that's my best 11. And Pompey manager I wanted to include in my best 11. And I'm going to go for Andy Orford because, right? Andy Orford, yes, he did horrendously badly after the season that he saved us, but he came in as caretaker manager, and for 6 or 7 games managed to avoid the drop into non-existence out of League Two. So for that very reason, no matter how bad he was in the following season, Andy Orford saved Portsmouth Football Club as the manager, or was a part of the saving of Portsmouth Football Club. So for that reason, I think he's the best Pompey manager that I've seen. What do you think of that, mate?
Yeah, I thought it was excellent, Tom. Really good. And the Andy Orford thing, thinking back in time,
You have to concur.
Yeah, no, I do. I agree. Yeah, I agree. He's a great guy. He got us out of trouble. You're right. Andy Ilford.
No one can see Matty Taylor. Right, question from Mark Womble. Thank you very much for getting in touch with us, Mark. And Mark wants to know, what has been your best moment this season?
No, I'll tell you what, the best moment this season was beating Sunderland at Fratton Park.
Okay.
That was the best moment for me this season, yeah.
I'm going to go for Exeter City 3-2 in the Checkatrade Trophy just a few months ago. Question from Tom Wasty. Thank you for getting in touch, Tom. Best atmosphere at a Pompey game you or Andrew have ever seen?
Mine, Tom, I don't want to repeat myself every week, but obviously the one is David Norris at St Mary's when he equalised 92nd minute, whatever it was. A brilliant atmosphere, fantastic for Pompey that day.
For me, any games that we played at Wembley, I would say were some of the best atmospheres. Should we go for then, just to extend Tom's question ever so slightly, your best atmosphere that you've seen outside of Pompey or outside of Fratton Park?
If you ask me the best atmosphere, Tom, was obviously Pompey.
Second best
Fratton
then.
Park. And second best, probably for me, is a toss-up between Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park or Wolverhampton Wanderers at the Molineux.
Quick fire round time, everyone. You don't need to know this bit, but I'll just... Oh, go on.
Burton Albion.
This is the stadium checklist. I'm going to ask Andrew very quickly which
Fleetwood's
of
up there.
Fleetwood's. Thanks, mate. We'll move on now. Which one of these stadiums Andrew has visited? Are you ready?
Yes.
They're going to come at you thick and fast.
Okay.
Right, Wembley.
Yes.
London Stadium, West Ham.
No.
Anfield.
Yes.
St James's Park.
Exeter, yes.
Newcastle.
No.
Stadium of Light, we've both been there.
Yes.
Bramall Lane, Sheffield United.
Yes.
Villa Park.
Yes.
Stade de France, I went to.
I've been.
You've been as well. Celtic Park.
No.
Old Trafford.
Yes.
Etihad.
Yes.
Goodison.
No.
Ellen Road.
Yes.
Emirates.
No.
You haven't been to the Emirates?
No.
Or Goodison?
No.
Molineux.
Molineux, yes, of course.
Hillsborough?
Yeah, Molineux's not on the list.
No, I just added it in.
Okay,
Don't
Emirates.
spoil the magic.
Molineux, of course, yes. Hillsborough, yes.
St Andrews, we went there a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
Coventry City.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, ST Andrews.
Yeah.
Camp Nou.
Yeah,
New
Barcelona,
Camp.
yes.
We've been there.
Yeah.
San Siro.
San Siro, yes.
Ibrox.
No.
And don't really want to.
No.
Question from, let's not upset ECFC George here.
No,
when we
ECFC
answer his
George.
question.
It's
He said Exeter City or Plymouth Argyle.
Now, in his title, Tom, the question came from ECFC George. I
Yes.
assume he's Exeter City.
Yeah, do you think that stands for Exeter City?
I think it does.
Yes.
So therefore, we've got friends that are Plymouth Argyle fans that live in Plymouth, haven't we?
Brennan Dickinson plays for Exeter City.
Brennan Dickinson, Ollie's best friend, plays for Exeter City. So we're going to be neutral. Question from Alex O'Connell, Tom.
Yep, go for it.
Do you prefer Paul Merson or Pedro Mendes?
Pedro Mendes.
Paul Merson for me.
Despite this goal from Pedro Mendes
Great.
against Man City.
Yeah, but that was a 1 minute, and he played well for us, Pedro. But out of the two players, Paul Merson was more instrumental in getting us into the Championship, into the Premier League for sure.
Okay.
Great player, Paul Merson.
Dylan6966 has come back in. He asked us a question the other week, so thanks for continually getting involved, Dylan. If you could relive one Pompey home and away game, what would they be and why? I'll go in first. I'd say if I could relive one Pompey home game...
And change the score?
Well, maybe. I'm not sure.
He didn't ask that, did he?
Well, I would relive a game that I wasn't at, or we both weren't at, which was Colchester United away when we won 4-0.
The following Tuesday, Grimsby.
Yes,
when we beat them 4-0.
So maybe we should have those two, because we missed both 4-0.
That's a good point. We missed both 4-0s because we were away on holiday and both games were in that week.
Other trips, like trips to Sunderland, I'd like to go back and do again, because that was great fun, wasn't it? And I know I keep mentioning Wembley, but any trips we've had to Wembley in the last couple of years. Right now, I'd relive any Pompey game, because we missed it
any live game would be
Even
great,
Accrington Stanley away, I would happily relive.
Yeah, I'm going to ask Matty Taylor. Ask the audience. I'm going to bring Matt Taylor into this and ask him what he thinks, because Matt Taylor he was left-footed as well, Matt. I'm going to ask you a question, mate. Best game, if I was to relive one game this season, home or away, what would it be?
He's not saying much, is he?
Sorry? Joking, man. But well, Tom, I've mentioned it a number of times, but I think I'd relive that game at St Mary's when we drew 2-2.
Yeah.
It was a great day out.
Brilliant. It is now time to head over to Dan, one half of Dan and John, who we have been missing so terribly, haven't we?
No, not really, but we haven't seen them for a while.
No, we haven't. So we'll head over to him now, mate. How are you getting on? Thanks for joining us. All yours.
Hello, Fournilwrittenalloverit, my new best friend. Since I lost you lot, hope everyone's well. This gardening night's killing me. Hope to see you back at football soon. Cheers, peeps.
Thanks for that, mate. Thank you for sending that in.
Very soon.
We will see him very soon. Right, thank you very much for joining us this week on the Fournilwrittenalloverit podcast. We will be back for a very special look back video, highlights reel, to show you all the best bits we've had and the moments we've enjoyed over the last couple of years on the show. After that, we will be back on the podcast for episode number 5. We'll have another story from Andrew. Alexander Negative will join us for an update on the current situation, as well as the 60-second challenge, which is the most exciting challenge ever. I cannot wait to share that with you. Until then, keep the faith, stay safe. Thank you so much for joining us yet again.
And play up Pompey.
Go south, there's a team down there. Go south, with a lot of flair. Go south, they're gonna take us there.